Hi everyone. So in this video lecture, I'll be just covering quicksort and how the algorithm quicksort works. What is the running time or the complexity of the quicksort algorithm, and it will be a short lecture on how it works. So I'll share the slide. Yeah, it's quicksort. So what quicksort does is it's divides the array into two parts, where left part need to be sorted again and right part need to be sorted again. Something which mergesort did was, after the mergesort being called, there was a merge function, but in quicksort there is nothing like after recursive calls. Again, merging the array is not required, but at the beginning there is a partition call. In mergesort it was merge after two recursive call. Here there is a partition call before the quicksort being called. So we will look at what is partition. Given an input array A of length n, you take a pivot element which is a element in the array. Typically it is taken as last element or first element in the array. For this example, we assume it as last element in the array, only for example. So implementation can be different. Reorder the array elements as given below. Partition the array into two parts such that A1 to AK is less than or equal to pivot element. AK is the pivot element. Okay. Then AK plus 1 to AN is greater than or equal to pivot element. From these last three bulleted points, you understood that AK is already in the sorted position. Like when you sort the elements in ascending order, the position of the pivot element is K, or AK should have the value of pivot element. That is already being taken care by the partition function. So that is what I pointed out in the last bulleted point. Also, the sorting is in ascending order. We will see how the partition works. This is a partitioning algorithm. We assume the array index starts from 0 to n minus 1 in this example. So when pivot is A of high, this say just 1 minute. So pivot is the A of high means I is here n minus 1. I is log minus 1 becomes I, value of I will be minus 1. When for j equal to log 2, j less than high minus 1 do. Here what does it mean is scan from left to right all the array elements or up to the pivot element. Should be j less than high minus 1, so it should be j less than or equal to a minus 1. It should be j less than or equal to a minus 1, it should be n minus 2. So you scan the array from left to right, and what you are doing here is, if a element is less than pivot element, you increment the I and swap the values in the locations A and AJ. And once the loop is executed, there will be a value for I. Then you swap I plus 1 and the pivot element. Then return the index of the pivot element, that is I plus 1. That's how algorithm is. We'll see an example. So A is an array here. So what will the pivot element value will be? 70. So here its index starts from 0. So this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3. Just to have the example being clear, I'm writing 5, 6. So low is 0, high is 6, pivot is 7, and I equal to minus 1. When j equal to 0, like 10, aj is 10 less than 70, that is this if condition is satisfied. Then you increment I here, and I becomes 0. From -1 it becomes 0. Then it will be swap of 10, 10. It could be actually swap of A0, A0. I put values here. So swap 10, 10. Nothing will change. So all the array elements will be in the same order. When j equal to 1, that is 90, 90 is not less than pivot element, it is not satisfied. J equal to 2, it is satisfied. What is the value of I currently is 0. Then you increment I by 1, then swap this A1 and A2 because J is 2, I is 1. Swap 90 and 50. So this will be swap. Then J equal to 4, I equal to 2. Swap 90 and 40 because when I becomes 2, A2 is already 90 because there was a previous 90-50 swap. So J equal to 4, the swap will be 90 and 40. For J equal to 3, condition is not satisfied. When J equal to 4, the swap will be 80 and 30 because I becomes 3. So it will be 80 and 30 swap. When you exit the loop, what you have is I has value 3. Then you swap ARR I plus 1 and ARR 6. That's the pivot element, that is 90 and 70. Then return. What you return is 4. The function returns, partition function returns the value 4. The value returned is 4. That is this statement, return statement. So that's the partition function. So what is having here is after this partition being done, look at the array content, it will be like this. So 10, 50, 40, 30, all elements are less than 70. 80, 90, elements are greater than 70. To be formal, it could be less than or equal to 70. To the right, it will be greater than or equal to 70. Then you have to sort this left subarray and right subarray. Okay. So you can try the same algorithm for this input and check how it works to get a real feeling or to get it memorized to your head. Just listening to the slide may not work for at least some of you. That's why I give an example here. Now we will go to the quicksort algorithm. So you have an input array A, array indices P and R. Partition array output is partition array based on pivot element. So you have these are the inputs A, P and R. So if P less than R, that is the array length is greater than 1, that's what it means. You partition A, Q, R. Q, A, P, R, where Q is the pivot element position. Then you call quicksort of A, P, Q minus 1 will do here. Then quicksort A, Q plus 1, R. Because the A, Q will have already the element, that is the pivot element in the partition, that is already in the sorted position. So Q can be removed, A, P, Q minus 1 and A, Q plus 1, R will do. Or end if. So what is the running time of partition? What I meant Q minus 1 here is that you have to sort only up to that element. Q element need not be considered for sorting. So what is the running time of partition is from the for loop itself you should identify that if n is the size like log to high is n, then it will be theta of n. So that for loop executes n times like that much iteration. So in the merge sort example, I didn't give the merge function that you can write by your own. So merge sort I mentioned again the merge function as the running time of theta n. So merging is something similar to this partition, where instead of this partitioning, you have two subarrays which are sorted. When you merge, the entire array should be sorted. So it's easy for you to write such a merge function. It's available in the book also. So what will be the running time of quicksort? And what could be the partition size? It could be the case that in partition element it becomes the last element or it itself is the highest element. In the previous example, the pivot was 70 and the highest element in the array was 90. Assume the highest element in the array itself is 70 or pivot element was modified to 110. Then there will be nothing to the right, onto the left there will be n minus 1 element. Similarly, if the pivot element is the least element, suppose the value is 0, all others are having value greater than 0. To the right, there will be n minus 1 element. So the worst case will be like Tn is sort n minus 1 elements, then C1 star n. This is for the theta of n, that is for partition function. This is the worst case. This you can solve by recurrence relation solving that we saw in the merge sort example. I'm not going to repeat it again here. The best case is when the pivot element comes in the middle. Then you have to sort the left half and right half. So even the pivot element is the middle, so you have to put left half and right half may have same size. So the n by 2, it can be like floor or ceiling, that based on the input size. Then again C1 star n for the partition function. Then it becomes similar to merge sort, and the running time here you can find it as n log n. This is the best case. N log n. The LG means log 2 to the base n. This you can solve by your own, and anyway, you can solve it both the equations and find what happens. You can take it like Tn by 2 plus Tn by 2 minus 1 plus C star n is anyway less than Tn by 2 plus Tn by 2 plus C1 star n. So even if you remove this minus 1, you can say that Tn is anyway less than this value. Actual Tn is less than Tn by 2 plus Tn by 2 plus C1 star n. Then you can solve similar to merge sort. So that's about quicksort. This reconciliation you can solve by your own. Like we had some substitution and repeat for 3-4 steps, then find a generic pattern, then find the solution. For that, you refer the previous video on quicksort and factorial, how it was solved. Not previous video on merge sort, how the running time was calculated. Similarly for factorial, how it was calculated. You can refer. And the input, this as a solution. This are in the, you can have a look at this, how the partition works for this example.